Die Maschine is the new zombies map that just came out with Black Ops Cold War, and there's a lot to talk about, but perhaps the most interesting part of the map is the new wonder weapon, which is called D.I.E Shockwave, and you can upgrade it to 4 different variations. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at each variation and hopefully determine which one is the best. In order to compare them properly, we're going to analyze every variation. We're going to take into account the damage, the ammo capacity, and practicality. The first variation we're going to look at is called the Electrobolt. This is the electric variation of the wonder weapon. It has 400 shots, which is the highest ammo count out of all the variations. To use it, you simply have to hold down the right trigger and it'll shoot a laser beam of electricity that will do okay damage. With each shot, it does 1,000 damage, which is the exact same as a regular non-upgraded ray gun. To put that a little more into perspective, a normal zombie on round 13 has 950 health. So starting from round 14, it's gonna kill everything in 2 shots. A Megaton boss zombie on round 27 has a little over 100,000 health, which means you're gonna use 100 shots to kill a Megaton, and you're gonna have to use 200 more shots to kill the 2 blasters right after you deal with the Megaton. On round 30, a single zombie has 12,100 health. So it'll take 13 shots just to finish a single zombie. So if I haven't made my point clear, here it is. This weapon is weak as fuck, but it has a lot of ammo. I would not recommend using this in a higher round. First of all, you have to hold down the right trigger and do little damage over long periods of time, and when you're firing the weapon, you're very slow, and the zombie spawns are crazy in this game. They're very scattered, so every time you fire this weapon, you put yourself at the risk of getting hit and maybe even going down. It's great before round 20, maybe 25 if you want to push it, but there's a huge spike in the health of the zombies after round 20. And it's very noticeable when this weapon stops being practical. Now, I like this variation, but that's because it's really good for doing the main Easter egg, and it's really good if you plan on doing the exfil on round 20 or maybe 15. And one more thing that's going to count against this weapon is that it's the hardest one to get. All the other variations are relatively easy to get. This one is not too difficult to get, but it is the hardest one to get because you have to keep going back and forth between the pack-a-punch room and the crash site and the pond, and it's just a little bit more tedious than the other ones. The next one we're going to look at is called cryo-emitter. This is basically the frost/ice variation. It has 125 shots and it works exactly like the electric version. It shoots a laser beam of frost, it does 2,000 damage per shot, and the ones that it doesn't kill, it will freeze temporarily. So to compare it to the electric version, it does twice the damage, but it has almost a third of the ammo. But it tries to compensate for that by giving that extra freezing effect, but the problem is that the freezing effect is only useful in a handful of situations. Again, it's very useful in the main Easter egg, but if you're going for a high round, it's really not. And that's because when you're training the zombies, you want to keep them as close to one another as possible, and whenever you fire this weapon, some of the zombies are going to freeze and they're going to get separated from the rest of them, and it's going to mess up your train and it can do more harm than good. The advantage this weapon has over the electric variation is that it's going to be useful for a little bit longer because it does twice the damage. But unlike the Electrobolt, this one is one of the easier, if not the easiest variation to obtain. Next, we're going to look at Thermophasic, which is the napalm/fire variation. This one works differently than the first 2. It doesn't shoot a laser beam, instead each time you fire the weapon it uses 10 bullets or 10 shots, and it shoots out a powerful fireball that travels in a completely straight line. It has 100 shots, so you get to fire the weapon 10 times before you run out of ammo. Each time you shoot, it does 50,000 damage. So unlike the first 2 variations, this one is actually going to stay effective for much longer. But it's very difficult to utilize for killing a horde of zombies all at once, because the fireball travels in a straight line and it's practically impossible to line up 24 zombies in a straight line and then shoot them. It's just not going to happen. But you're still going to be able to kill multiple zombies at once past round 25, which is not something you can say about the first 2 variations. This one is especially good for killing the boss boss zombies, so you can just get this variation, keep it on the side, and only use it whenever a boss zombie shows up, because it really does make short work of the megatons and the blasters. It's really good, and it's probably the only variation that you're going to be able to do any real damage with past round 30. The next one we're going to talk about is called Nova 5, and it's basically the poison slash, well, fart variation. It has 90 shots, and every time you fire the weapon, it uses 15 shots, and it creates a cloud of gas that will do damage to the enemies that go through it. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, the damage on this one is extremely difficult to measure, because in order for me to measure it accurately, I would have to basically keep a boss zombie in that cloud of gas from the second it activates all the way to the very end, which is about 10 seconds. And it's impossible to keep a boss zombie standing still for 10 seconds. But I do know that if a zombie just runs through the cloud and not stay there, they're gonna take 1500 damage. And if they stay in the gas, they're gonna keep taking damage in 1500 bursts, basically. So to keep things simple, let's just say it does 1500 damage. Let's just assume that we're not gonna be able to keep a zombie staying in that cloud. But this one can do one thing that the other three variations are not capable of doing, and that's killing an entire horde of zombies every time you fire the weapon. Now, granted, it would have to be on a lower round, but even on the higher rounds, you can still do damage to an entire horde of zombies without putting yourself at any sort of risk. You can kill a horde of zombies with the first two variations as well, but you're gonna put yourself at risk, and it's not gonna be quick. It's not gonna be with one shot. Now, there are a number of problems with this variation. One is that it has the least amount of ammo. Two is that it does very poorly against the boss zombies. And again, that's because you can't keep a boss zombie in that cloud of gas. Another thing is that you can't use it as a panic weapon, because after you fire the weapon, it takes a couple of seconds for the gas to get activated, so it's not going to save you if you're cornered. All the other variations can be used as a panic weapon, as a means to escape. Now, for the first two variations, they're probably not going to save you past round 15 or 20, but if you're doing the main Easter egg and you get cornered in the boss fight, the only variation that's not going to be able to save you is this one. So it has some really good pros and some really bad cons. And that's all of the 4 variations, but there's still one more that I have to talk about, and that's the base variation. The base variation is surprisingly good. In some instances, it might actually be better than not just one, but all the other variations. It has 60 shots, and every time you fire the weapon, it uses 15 shots, so you only get to use it 4 times before you run out, but it does really well. It's basically the Thunder Gun. It shoots a blast of air, which does 15,000 damage, which is not bad at all. The only problem with it is that you're gonna keep running out of ammo, but you're gonna be able to do a lot of damage, and you're gonna be able to kill a full horde of zombies up until round 32. And that is amazing, considering this is the base version. I would not take this to the boss fight. It's not good for the main Easter egg because you're gonna keep running out and it's not gonna help you. But if you're going for a higher round, I would actually recommend this one. Now, there is one more thing I want to talk about before I give my final ranking, and that's the ammo replenishment capability of this wonder weapon. So if you run out of ammo, you can hold the left trigger and you can suck the energy out of the zombies or something, and that's basically going to give you your ammo back. And every zombie you do this to is going to give you 3 shots back no matter which variation. And that's a little bit of an oversight, because let's say you run out of ammo and you replenish your ammo by killing 5 zombies. That's gonna give you 15 shots. For some of the variations, 15 shots means one thing, and for some of the other variations, 15 shots means an entirely different thing. For some of them, 15 shots is gonna go a long way and it's gonna do a lot, but for others, 15 shots is not gonna do shit. For example, if you have the fire variation, 15 shots means you get to kill a megaton. For the electric version, it means you don't even get to tickle Megaton's balls. And that's a little bit of a problem, because with the electric and the ice version, you keep having to replenish your ammo over and over again because you're not able to replenish your ammo at a reasonable rate. Another thing I've noticed is that no matter which round you're on, the sucking animation for every single zombie takes the same amount of time, meaning when you hold down the left trigger, with every second, it drains a percentage of their health. And that percentage doesn't change no matter which round you're on. So if killing a zombie using the left trigger takes 3 seconds on round 10, it's gonna take 3 seconds on round 50, because they wanted to keep the animation consistent. So for example, on round 10, with every second of you holding down the left trigger, you're gonna do, let's say, 200 damage. But on round 50, you might do about 5,000 damage. Now, where am I getting with all this? Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is, at that point, you'll be able to do more damage holding down the left trigger while replenishing your ammo at the same time than you would be if you were to actually use your wonder weapon. And that's especially true for the ice and the electric variation. It's true about all of them because at some point they're all going to be useless, but the ammo replenishment capability, the vacuum functionality, the suck, whatever you want to call it, will never fail you.
No-nonsense ability to suck.
And that's really strange, yet amazing at the same time. If you don't believe me, just get to round 40 and try it for yourself. You can do more damage trying to replenish your ammo than using the actual wonder weapon. Now, regardless of that, let's go ahead and rank each variation from worst to best. Now, I understand that some of these variations are good for the Easter egg, and some of them are better for just a normal game of zombies when you're probably trying to get to round 40 or 50, get some XP, get some Ethereum crystals, and stop playing. But I also understand that less people are likely to go for the Easter egg, and almost everybody is gonna play a normal game of zombies, so that's what I'm gonna base this ranking on. So coming in at number 5, we have the cryo-emitter. The damage to ammo ratio is just not worth it. I tried using it a lot, and one thing I noticed is that I was constantly running out of ammo. And I wasn't dishing out enough damage to compensate for the amount of times I was running out. The freezing effect doesn't really do anything. When it does make a difference, it just makes everything worse. And overall, I think this one just needs a little more. A little bit more damage, a little bit more ammo, and it would be much better. But as it stands right now, it's not all that great, and it comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the Electrobolt. This one is the weakest of them all, damage-wise, but it has so much ammo that you're gonna be able to burn through those early rounds really fast and without any worry. It's good for crowd control, and you can spam it because you have so much ammo that you're just not gonna worry about running out. But it is very, very weak, and it becomes really useless really fast. Coming in at number 3, we have the Thermophasic. Damage-wise, this is the most powerful variation, but since you're not going to be able to distribute that damage the way you want to, it loses its appeal, but it's still a very good solution for the boss zombies, and it's the best panic weapon as well. So it's not something you use against the zombies very often, but it's still a good wonder weapon. Coming in at number 2, we have Nova 5. Although it might seem like it doesn't have a lot of ammo, if you use it right, you can do a lot with each shot. The delay takes a little bit of time to get used to. It's not a panic weapon, and it's really not good against the bosses, but if you really know how to use it, it's great. If you can run the horde of zombies through the gas multiple times, if you're able to do that, then this weapon is going to be a lot more useful than the other variations. And last but not the least, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, coming in at number 1, we have the Shockwave, the non-upgraded base version of the wonder weapon. The only con it really has is that it doesn't have enough ammo. It's got high damage, it can affect a relatively big radius, it can be used as a panic weapon, and it's good against the boss zombies. It's surprisingly good, and in my opinion, it's the best one. So the way I play the game is that in every single game I play, I get all 4 variations because they're very easy to get, and the way I utilize every single variation is that I start by using the Electrobolt, and when I feel like it's not doing enough anymore, I switch to the cryo-emitter, and when that becomes useless, I switch to the Nova 5, and eventually I switch to the Shockwave. And every time a boss zombie shows up, I switch to the Thermophasic. Once the boss zombie is dealt with, I switch back to whichever variation I had before. I would definitely try to get the ray gun as well. The fully pack-a-punched version used to do 24,000 damage per shot, and they nerfed it to 8,000 damage per shot. It does a third of the damage that it used to do, but it's still really, really good. And you can use it along with the wonder weapon to easily get to round 50, so you can get all the XP and all the Ethereum crystals that you need. That is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think and how you would rank the wonder weapons. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.